Hello, my name's Bob. I'm the rector of Kippax, Swillington and Allerton, Bywater, and welcome to Messy Church. Today we're looking at a really important festival for Christians. That's Pentecost. That's a funny word, and it means 50. And it's 50 days after Jesus' resurrection, when he came back to his disciples after his death. We remember the Holy Spirit coming. Now the Holy Spirit's really difficult to describe. Christians believe fills them and makes them whole and alive and ready for God. It's the kind of life of God, if you like, inside us, filling our lungs and filling our lives with love and energy. So how do you describe something that's invisible, that you can't see? Well, the way to do it is by thinking about analogies. That means things that are like something else, and one of them is wind. So you'll see that we're going to make some kites. Another one is to do with chemical reactions, where oxygen things are made. You can't see them, but they still fill a balloon. You can see the balloon being filled. And we've also got things exploding and experiments and all sorts of things to make today. I hope you find something really interesting to do. Please be careful with scissors and with the chemical reactions. Make sure you've got an adult helping you. Have a great time. I hope to see you in church or in school soon.
I'm using a cereal packet. We need to draw a circle round the wide end of a cup. You can use anything to draw your circle with, and I've got some cello-tape. If you're using cello-tape, you can actually draw around the outside and then around the inside, because we draw two big circles and we need them about 2 centimetres apart. And then in the middle of one of them we're going to draw a smaller circle, so I'm using the other end of my cup. To draw around, and then I do 2 lines about 1 centimetre apart from each other, just to join the 2 circles together. And then I need my scissors to cut it out. We need to cut round, circle, round the second circle, piece like that. Then I need my piece of glue tack so that I can put it underneath, and we just need to poke the scissors through the middle circle. Then cut and the circle so that we've got a circle at that end. And then if we fold in half with the writing in the middle, and then draw around inside that circle, and that way both of our circles match up with each other. make a hole and cut out the second circle. And you should then have two circles that match up with each other. Like that. Then we need either a piece of greaseproof paper, or you can do what I do and use some sweetie wrappers, little bits of cellophane and some PVA glue. And if you put glue all around one side of your circle, one side of the cardboard, and stick your cellophane across. It doesn't matter if it sticks out to the side because you can trim it off later. I'm going to need a little bit more glue just on that bit. And then we need to put glue on the other half of the circle, but not on this bit in the middle. You need to leave that bit without any glue on it. And then stick the two sides together so that you have a nice little bit in the middle, and then you just trim off from around the edges. Now, if you've used greaseproof paper, you can either stick little bits of cellophane onto it by just cutting out, or you can actually use felt pens to draw a design on. So you've got a choice that if you're using cellophane, felt pens don't work quite so well, that you can just put a little bit of glue on the middle and then cut out some little bits to make your flames with different colours. I have an orange one. Then you need a piece of string. And this is why we left this bit unglued, because if you push your pencil through there, you can open it out, and then you can thread the string through and make a little loop to hang it up with. And if you hang it in a window where it catches the light, you can see flames.
Welcome to Church. It's lovely to see you all. We are going to do some scientific messy experiments today, which is always great fun. We have vinegar. This is vinegar, which we put in this bottle, and we've got a balloon and bicarbonate of soda. Okay, so we put the balloon onto the end of a funnel. You could make a funnel with some card if you haven't got a funnel. So can you put 2 spoons into the balloon? One. Great stuff.
Now what we need to do is
We need to put the mouth of the balloon round the mouth of the bottle, but we need to leave a little pouch full of bicarbonate of soda dangling down the side so it doesn't go into the bottle. This is a bit... Yeah, you definitely need to meet it up. Now, Rose. Okay, could you put that upright so that the bicarbonate of soda falls into the vinegar?
it pops.
Wow.
The spoon! Wow.
What's meant to happen? The balloon's meant to stay on the bottle and fill up with air.
That's what happened.
So these bubbles, they're carbon dioxide, which happens when the bicarbonate soda reacts with the vinegar, which is an acid. So you've got an alkali and an acid together, and that's what comes off. And so we're thinking about the invisible bit of God, which is the Holy Spirit. So incredible things happen with the Holy Spirit. The disciples were given a lot of confidence. So spoon falls into the balloon via the funnel. Yep. One. Shake it down on the next one.
I
Shake
can't
it
have
down.
soda everywhere.
Yep, we can put the lid on. So Jacob, what we're doing is we're putting the balloon over the top of the bottle, quite far on if we can.
See what it's going to be.
Yeah. Now can you tip that into the vinegar, please? And let go.
Looks like it looks like rotting milk.
That was really cool. It worked. Way better than mine.
So now we're going to make Kite. And I've got two designs. I've got a fire and I've got a single flame. And we need a square of paper, and I'm using greaseproof paper. You can use baking parchment or anything. The longer your roll, the bigger square you can get, because you need to make a square of paper by folding this edge up so that it meets it's a little bit fiddly, is this bit, so that it meets there, and then squash it down into a triangle shape and cut along the line. And it's better to try and cut it with a pair of scissors than to use the cutter on the box, because that doesn't always cut very straight, so that you have a square of paper. Then we keep the fold across the middle, then we open it out and you fold the edge nearest, the two edges nearest to you, so they meet on the middle line. That way you've got a sort of tight shape. When we've done that, we need to fold the two inner bits here back so that this top edge comes to the line there. Do the same with the one on the other side, so that you've got two little flaps. Now, if you've got some reinforcing washers, you can put one on each side, and they need to go on the very corner of these two little flaps. So we stick one there, and one there. If you haven't got any, it doesn't matter, you can just put a little square of sellotape on the corner. It's just to strengthen it a little bit because you're going to make a hole through both of the corners. Then with your piece of glue tack and the pencil, you push through the paper and make a hole through there to thread your string through. And again at the other side. If you use sellotape, you might need to use something a little bit sharper to make the hole with because the pencil might not go through it. But once you've done that, you fold it all back up. So you've got your kite shape folded up, and then we're going to cut off the very top point, and we cut about 2 centimetres down, so about there. And we're going to do the same at the bottom, again about 2 centimetres up, and you cut straight across. Then when you open it out, you should have a flat piece at the top, and the bit at the bottom, because of it being folded more, will be slightly curved. Then you can draw on your design, and I'm going to use felt pens. So I draw plain for Pentecost in the middle. Then I'm going to use some double-sided tape. If you haven't got double-sided tape, you can just use ordinary sellotape. I lost my scissors. And you need to cut a piece of tape that will just fit across the bottom. And then you need some tissue paper, and I've just got some A4 sheets of tissue in yellow and orange and red, and you cut them into strips. If you haven't got tissue paper, you can actually use crepe paper, or you can use ribbon. And then you just press them onto the double-sided tape. And if you only press them about halfway along, you can then do a second row of them just a little bit above. So that you've got the tail of your kite. And then you need some string, and I've got some nylon string, which needs to be the same length as your kite. You measure from there to there. This is where I go into pyrotechnics. Because this string frays very badly, I cut it. Well, I don't cut it. I use the lighter because it melts the ends, so it doesn't fray. And then you need to put the string the opposite side to the way it folds. So if it folds, if you've got the folds going in that way, these two little bits will actually fold back the other way, and you need to put the string through the side where they are folded. Tie a knot in one side, other side, and then fly your kite. You need to tie another piece of string to the middle of here, and I'm just going to tie the end of this bit and leave the rest of the reel in the box. And then you need to go outside if it's windy, and you can fly your kite. If you've used a very big piece of paper, you can actually stiffen it a little bit by threading one of the garden canes that you use just for supporting plants with. You can thread that through the holes where you put the string, and just put a little bit of cello-tape at each end to hold it in place, and that helps to hold your kite open while you're flying it. If you do a smaller kite, you probably won't need to do that. That's it.
This experiment, we have a bottle of fizzy pop, 2 litre bottle. Okay, we have a cone that we made ourselves to act as a funnel, just from card with a bit of tape. And we have a packet of Mentos. Now, it does actually matter that they're Mentos rather than another mint. So, the funnel goes on top of the bottle, and you put the Mentos in the bottle. You see the bubbles coming off the bottle because it's fizzy pop. That's carbon dioxide. Now, we'll see what happens to that when we put these in. So well, it's...
Oh my goodness!
So in a similar way, when we're filled with the Holy Spirit, do we overflow with joy? What makes us excited about God? It's really smelly. Put them all in. All in.
Oh!
Our hearts. And in the story of Pentecost, which is in the book of Acts, what we see is the Holy Spirit coming down upon the disciples, and it's described as flames, like flames on their heads. They're trying to use language to describe how something feels, something that's very difficult to actually understand. Also, they spoke in different languages, so people from all over the world who were gathered there could understand what they said. So it's a mysterious, powerful thing of God, the Holy Spirit. And we remember that coming upon the disciples at Pentecost. And it's also described as the birth of the church. It's when God's power and love came upon the church and gave the Christians the power and the energy to do what they needed to do, which was tell the world about God's love. So we remember Pentecost.
the Spirit says move. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 'Cause when the Spirit says sing, you've got to sing when the Spirit, sing when the Spirit says sing. You've got to clap when the Spirit says clap. You've got to clap when the Spirit says clap. 'Cause when the Spirit says clap, you've got to clap when the Spirit, clap when the Spirit says clap. You've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. You've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. 'Cause when the Spirit says shout, you've got to shout when the Spirit, shout when the Spirit says shout.